All right, here we are in late August 2024, the NAR settlement that took effect August 17th. I'm going to tell you, as a guy who practices real estate, right? I'm involved in real estate transactions as a mortgage broker. I work with hundreds of real estate agents. I'm going to tell you the real life changes that I'm seeing, right? There's the rules and there's everything you're seeing on the media. Are real estate agents no longer going to get paid? Is, paying a buy side commission no longer a thing in real estate? All of these headlines tell one story. I'm going to tell you the story of what's happening from a real life perspective, involved in real estate transactions, involved in the negotiation process. Maybe not personally as a mortgage broker, am I negotiating it, but I'm seeing it, right? I'm seeing buy side agent, listing agent negotiate this. I'm having buyers come to me with questions. I'm having buyers talk to real estate agents. I presented earlier in the week at a real estate meeting, and I got real estate agent perspective on what they're seeing and hearing. So if you're a buyer of real estate, if you're a seller of real estate, if you're an investor and you're watching this, I'm going to tell you what I've seen, right? My real life experience, right? And then you can take that for what it is and, apply it to your strategy going forward. First and foremost, as a seller, I think that different real estate agents are going to explain this in a different way to you. You are no longer obligated to offer a buy side commission. Those commissions are decoupled. It's no longer you pay the agent who's representing you to sell your home 6%. They offer the buy side 3%. Those commissions are decoupled. So you could, in theory, tell your agent, you know what? I don't want to pay the 3% for a buy side agent to bring a buyer. I'm going to give you 3% as the seller, as the listing agent to sell my house. I'm not offering anything to the buy side. Now, here's what I'm seeing happen in real life. Agents operate on the buy side. They're showing buyers a bunch of different houses. They're finding them what matches their criteria: 3-bedroom, 2-bath, $500,000 price point in this area. They're looking to get paid for their services. Doctors don't work for free. Lawyers don't work for free. Real estate agents don't necessarily work for free either. So if there's a case like that where a seller says, I absolutely don't want to offer a commission, what's happening in my experience so far, right? A couple weeks of this have gone on. The buy side agent, who's a great agent, is bringing an offer, and along with that, they're submitting that addendum. I don't know what it's a 4-letter acronym, right? That's saying, I'd like to get 2.5%. That's my fee. I'd like to get 3%. And they're writing that into the offer, right? And so then the seller is presented with these offers. We've got somebody who offered $475, and they're a cash buyer. We've got somebody who offered us $500,000, full price offer, yippee, but they're asking for 2.5%, right? And quick math, 2.5%, that's $12,500. You as the seller now take a look at that offer. And if you've got a great listing agent, the listing agent says this full price offer at $500,000, where you're also going to pay the $12,500 to the buy side, is a net of $487,500. $12,500 higher than the cash offer. And like any real estate transaction, before or after, you decide. You'll want the cash offer that might have less chance of falling out, or in some cases, a higher chance of them negotiating and trying to get you for repairs and other stuff. But that's another video for another day. But either way, that buy side commission is still being worked in, but it's being worked in through this negotiation. So what I've seen so far, great agents who know how to negotiate, who know how to communicate, are still operating their business in mostly the same way. They just have to have that conversation with their buyer. And when their buyer goes, hey, listen, I don't have $12,500 or $15,000 to pay you as an agent, the agent goes, okay, we're going to write it into the offer. Sometimes that might mean they're going to offer $510,000 with the commission being paid to the buy side agent. But whatever the case, I think it's a good thing in a lot of ways to have that conversation. Now, let's flip to the buy side. As a buyer, what can you expect? You go and you meet with an agent. Agent goes, hey, there's been some changes. You've got to sign this buyer broker agreement that says my fee is 2.5% or my fee is 3%. And a lot of buyers, when they first hear this, it's news to them, or they've seen stuff in the media that says, buyers agents don't get paid a commission anymore. Whatever it is, they might not understand it. A great buy-side agent is going to explain all the things they're going to do for you. First and foremost, they're going to represent you. They're going to keep you out of trouble. I just read an article where somebody went and represented themselves, had a $20,000 earnest money deposit, had their 5-day inspection contingency pass. They no longer could back out because of inspection. They wanted an inspection on day 7 or 8. Long story short, they lost $20,000 trying to represent themselves. So I don't recommend that to just about everybody. There's seasoned investors. There's certain individuals that do 30 transactions a year on their own as real estate investors. They can negotiate on their own behalf. First-time home buyers, most home buyers, shoot, myself, I've been involved in 1,300 real estate transactions as a mortgage broker. You know how many times I've represented myself on a deal and I've not used a real estate agent? The number is 0. I've always used an agent, right? Because the great ones are worth their weight in gold. So, buy-side agent, you sign the form and you say, whether it's for a certain number of homes, whether it's for a 3-month period, these vary widely. And this is why there's a lot of confusion. Different MLSs, different states, different places, different brokerages for that matter are going to operate differently, but you're going to sign one of these agreements, right? Whether it's for a specific house, whether it's for a specific period of time, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days. I don't know, but there's lots of different versions of it. I know that this agent is going to get paid 2.5%. What I've heard from great agents is they make their buyers feel comfortable with, one, I'm going to do a lot of work on your behalf. I'm going to make sure we find you the right house. I'm going to make sure when we do get into negotiations on this property, I'm going to get you a great price. I'm going to negotiate and help you with an inspector so that there's not any major issues with the house. I've seen agents save buyers so much pain and heartache and money. There was just a deal where basically they told the list side, we're not going to close on this transaction unless you allow us to open up a wall and inspect, because there might be a leak from the top floor to the bottom floor. The buyer said, it's probably not a big deal. The agent implored them, no, we will not proceed because I don't want you stuck with a $30,000 plumbing bill 2 years from now because this thing's a problem. Let's get it fixed. Let's demand that the seller allows us to do this inspection. So the buy-side agent, worth their weight in gold, you sign, you get 2.5%. The great agents are reminding the buyer, this is all part of the negotiation. 9 times out of 10, and in my experience, even now, 9.5 times out of 10, 95% of the time, you're going to be able to have that buy-side commission paid by the seller. It's just going to be negotiated, right? I've seen listings that went up, and since there was only a commission being paid to the listing agent, the price that you saw on the listing, $500,000, had there been a commission offered, they probably would have listed the place at $515 or $520. So they listed it at $500, hoping to get some more action, which probably worked. But then when negotiations start and the agents get on the phone, they go, your seller's not offering any commission. Well, we're going to have to work that in. I'm going to get paid 2.5%. I've signed that agreement with my buyers. My buyers don't want to come out of pocket for that. So let's write an offer at $515, right? $515, 3% going to the buy side. And so that's what I'm seeing in real life. And I think 2 weeks ago, I was more of the mindset that this isn't a huge change, that this isn't something to be worried about. But after these 2 weeks, what I'm seeing in practice is that this is a big shift. This is a big change. It's going to help the greatest agents do more business and still get paid, handsomely for the value that they bring. It's going to hurt agents who want to stick a sign in the yard, stick something on MLS, and get paid a commission check, right? No longer are you able to involve yourself in a real estate transaction, not add value and get paid, or it's going to be a lot harder, right? The great agents are going to provide immense value. They're going to be rewarded and paid for it and negotiate for it, and they'll be just fine. but it's a major shift. It's a major shift in how things are done. And there's positives, there's negatives. The positives are that all of this conversation, who's getting paid, how are they getting paid, is really transparent. The seller knows, the buyer knows, it's all part of the conversation. And I think agents, if I wanted to give agents advice, get really good at these conversations, because you're going to have them, and you're going to want to have them. You want a buyer that's educated and empowered to go out and make good real estate decisions. As a mortgage broker, that's always my goal. Is an educated buyer is an empowered buyer. Empowered buyer goes out there and feels good about the offers they're making because they understand the mortgage and the numbers really well. Same thing goes on the real estate side. They know what to expect. They understand what's going on with who's getting paid and how they're getting paid, and they're okay with it and they feel good about it. So let me know if you have anything to add to this conversation. It's a continuing conversation. And I know that I'm going to continue to have conversations with real estate agents, with buyers and sellers. We're getting questions as mortgage brokers. What are we doing on the lending side? The good news is that you can take concessions from the sell side to pay the buy side commissions. So I don't see it being the case that more than 5% of buyers are actually going to pay the buy side commission out of their pocket. It's going to be rolled into the loan to a certain extent because it's going to be negotiated. 515 purchase price, $15,000 in seller credit. That seller credit goes to pay the buy side agent. Whatever the case may be, the buyer's going to come out of pocket less than 5% of the time. That's what I think, but subject to change, right? And agents are going to continue to do business. The great ones are going to thrive. The not so great ones are going to struggle. But net for buyers, I don't think there's going to be a big change. Like net for sellers, I don't think there's going to be a big change. Like it's going to affect real estate prices positively or negatively. I think it's going to kind of settle like most markets do at whatever's reasonable. So that's my take. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave your comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do on YouTube. Thanks for watching.